Blow Up begins with the narrator, a translator, recounting his experience of interpreting a photograph he once took. He reflects on the act of photography and the mysterious, almost magical way it captures moments. This sets the stage for the central event of the story and hints at the themes of perception and reality that will unfold. The story revolves around a photograph taken by the narrator of a scene in a park. Initially, the photograph seems simple. It captures a woman and a young boy in a seemingly innocuous interaction. The narrator is struck by the simplicity and clarity of the image, believing it to be a perfect representation of a mundane moment. As the narrator spends more time looking at the photograph, he becomes increasingly intrigued by the details. He begins to notice things he hadn't seen before, such as the expressions on the faces of the woman and the boy, and the body language that seems to suggest a deeper, perhaps darker interaction. In a pivotal moment, the narrator decides to blow up the photograph to examine it more closely. As he enlarges the image, he starts to see more disturbing details. The expressions of the woman and the boy take on new, unsettling meanings, and he begins to suspect that something sinister might be happening. The narrator's curiosity turns into obsession. He enlarges the photograph further and further, focusing on smaller and smaller details. Each blow-up reveals more ambiguity and raises more questions, blurring the line between reality and perception. His obsession with uncovering the truth in the image consumes him. With each enlargement, the narrator's certainty diminishes. The clarity of the original photograph gives way to graininess and distortion. What once seemed like clear evidence of a sinister event becomes increasingly ambiguous. The narrator questions his own perceptions and the reliability of the photograph as a true representation of reality. The narrator's obsessive examination of the photograph leads to unsettling discoveries. He starts to imagine scenarios of what might have been happening between the woman and the boy. These imagined scenarios grow increasingly dark and disturbing, blurring the line between his interpretations and reality. Cortázar explores the themes of perception and reality throughout the story. The photograph, initially a straightforward representation, becomes a symbol of the elusive nature of truth. The narrator's experience underscores how our perceptions can be influenced and distorted by our own biases, leading to different interpretations of the same reality. The narrator's obsessive analysis of the photograph takes a psychological toll on him. He becomes isolated, consumed by the need to understand the image. His fixation reveals the impact of obsession on the human psyche, showing how a seemingly trivial event can grow into an all-consuming pursuit of meaning. Blow Up concludes without providing a clear resolution. The narrator's quest to uncover the truth behind the photograph remains unresolved, leaving the reader with a sense of ambiguity. This open-endedness reinforces the story's themes, emphasizing the idea that reality is often complex and elusive, and that our understanding of it is always mediated by our perceptions. Julio Cortázar's Blow Up masterfully delves into the nature of reality and perception, using the photograph as a metaphor for the ways in which we interpret and sometimes distort the world around us. The story invites readers to question their own perceptions and consider the thin line between reality and interpretation.